is I'm gonna take my hand like a claw and I'm gonna just lift up the skin. And between these two fingers is kind of like a little tent. Okay. And so now, if you lift up the bag really high, you can see it's flowing really well. It is a lot. And he's gonna have a big weird bubble of fluid on him, but it'll help him feel better.
It'll help his flush out those toxins.
Exactly, those kidneys will get better.
Good morning everybody. It is early this morning. I've got a little buddy here with me. Many of you actually have not met him. This is Blitzen. He is one of 2 black cats that we have. I was up late last night with this little guy. We're not sure what's going on. I was up till about 2 a.m. feeding him water through a syringe. Lindsay told me to come here around like 10 o'clock and just noticed the cat was really lethargic and certainly not himself. This cat is very much like Annabelle, just in terms of, I mean, he's like a dog, right? He'll beg for food, he'll play. I mean, he's just always been a very playful cat. This is the very, very first animal that Lindsay and I got as a family, long before Turin is even born. So this cat's gotta be close to 13 years old. Anyway, so last night when she called me up, I went and checked on him and he was curled up in a little ball and didn't want to move. And so I just kind of picked him up, went downstairs to the basement, grabbed a cup of water and a syringe and some ham and just kind of gently gave him some water and fed him. And he seemed like he was doing a little bit better. But again, last night around 1:30 in the morning or so, he kind of jumps up onto me and again kind of falls asleep, but just very lethargic, very not himself, and skeleton bone thin. I mean, he's always been a thin cat, but it's to the point now where we can feel every single bone in his body. And so a little concerning, right? So we called a vet friend last night around 11 o'clock, and I just said, I'm not sure he's even gonna make it through the night. Lindsay wasn't sure. I was honestly, at the moment, I was really, really concerned he was never gonna make it through the night. And he said, hey, listen, I've had people say that before and they've made it through the night, and I've had people say that and they haven't made it through the night. He said, it sounds like something's definitely wrong with him. So we open up at 8 a.m. He's like, we're full, but bring him in. I'll be sure to get him in. So, you know, we said a little prayer last night and said, hey, please, let's have him make it through the night. And we woke up this morning, he was curled up in a spot that he's honestly not normally in. And just, again, kind of same thing, a little lethargic. Here he is right here. He's actually a little moving right now because I think he's nervous about the truck. But again, lethargic and just not himself. So him and I are heading to the vet this morning before Ava's game in hopes we can really figure out what's going on here. I mean, this is the cat that I brought home prior to Nala, our other cat, as a pre-vet student at BYU. These cats were coming into a clinic to be euthanized. You know, I decided to take him home, and then Nala came in, I think, a few weeks later, and I decided to take her home. And there was a big litter of them. So anyway, as you guys might know, you know, we got a thing for animals in our household, and particularly cats. If you guys ever saw that GoPro frozen cat video that Brandon had made, you'll see me saving a cat in that video, actually. So, you know, there's a history of cats for some reason in the Bingham family that need rescuing. So we're gonna run to the clinic and see what we can find out, what's going on with this little guy. All right, everybody, so Blitzen has been dropped off to the vet. So our vet, he's just a really good guy. And so, you know, because I have his cell phone, I was able to call him last night, and we're close enough friends that I could call him at, you know, 10:30 at night or whatever and chat with him. They're so busy though today, and really, he said almost all of next week, not a lot of openings. And so rather than running him to like an emergency vet clinic, I just figured this, you know, if he's willing to take an emergency, I'd rather take him to our kind of regular vet. So he was willing to kind of take him on an emergency basis, and I just ran him in right now. They asked me to leave Blitzen with them, and the doctor will take a look at him and give us a call. So at this point, we just wait and hope everything's okay. He's acting a little bit better this morning, but just certainly not himself. I mean, guys, if you were to hold him, he's got to be under 3 pounds. I mean, he is so skeleton skinny all of a sudden. I mean, he's been losing weight for a little while, and we spent hundreds of dollars to run tests probably 6 months ago or so on him, and nothing came back. So really, there was no reason to be alarmed. But anyway, we're hoping that, guys, we're hoping for the best here. He's been a good addition to our family, and I mean, shoot, he was kind of the first thing we had to take care of before we had children. Yeah, him and Nala have been good little add-ons to our home, and now we've got little Annabelle. We're a family of pets. We love pets over at the Bingham household. So anyway, fingers crossed. We'll keep you guys posted on how he is doing. We're hoping to hear from the vet here later today, but for now we wait.
you.
All right, you guys. Well, we just got a phone call from our vet, and Lindsay's pretty distraught over it, as is the whole family. So the diagnosis is this: he has chronic intestinal disease, and he is in kidney failure. So his kidneys are shot, which is pretty common with cats this age. He's an older cat. They've given us some options that we are trying to figure out what to do. The diagnosis was not optimistic, though. They said at best he's got maybe a couple months to live. So we are now trying to figure out what to do to make him more comfortable at home. They're suggesting fluids that we can put under his skin here at the house. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of all happened so fast. He's such a happy, energetic, kind of fun cat that really has been more of a dog than a cat ever since he's been in our home. And
plus he's an indoor cat, and indoor cats can live like, you know,
longer.
19, 20 years. And I think he's almost 14. So I just was not expecting this. It kind of caught us by surprise.
Yeah.
Even if we do the fluids, is he still gonna die in a couple months?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. The vet did say that some cats do surprise you, and honestly, if there's any cat out there that would probably surprise anyone, it would be this cat.
That's so true.
Yeah, he's a very resilient animal.
He literally was acting normal yesterday.
He's totally normal yesterday, and then
yesterday evening, I saw him laying on Ava's bed, and he just wasn't himself at all.
So guys, the issue with the kidneys is it's not clearing out all the toxins in his body. And in humans, you would get a kidney transplant. Well, they don't have that for animals. So, you know, they did offer euthanasia as an option. We are not going to take that option. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that he lives longer and doesn't suffer as a result.
We don't want him to suffer, so we have to make sure he's feeling better.
Yeah, so we are still awaiting some things from the doctor to figure out. It's likely that he'll be in the hospital for the next few days, being pumped full of fluids, and then they're going to check his kidney levels again, and at that point we'll know if his kidneys have kicked back into gear, if they're doing anything. It sounds like he has almost no kidney function. If that's the case, it may mean it is his time to go, but our hope is that he's got some sort of kidney function left that we can bring him home and just kind of make him more comfortable and have him live out, you know, kind of the rest of his days here with his family. So that's kind of the update.
As you know, pets are like part of your family, and we've had these cats longer than our kids have been alive.
Yeah.
So this would be the first pet we've ever lost.
This would be the very first pet we've ever lost, yeah.
So I knew the time would come eventually, but man, it just takes you by surprise when it happens. So
he's lost a lot of weight too. He's gone from 12 pounds down to 6 pounds. The last time he was in there, it was 9, and so he's just kind of, which again is kind of symptoms of an intestinal disease, which they can treat with a steroid, which we're going to do that as well. So we're kind of treating two different things here.
We did notice
really
that
hoping for the best.
Weight loss a while ago, and like little spots on his fur. So we've taken him in a couple times, and they've run, you know,
tests, yeah,
tons of really expensive tests to check for his thyroid, and every time it came back clear, and so we haven't been able to figure out what it was until now.
And the reality is you can't do anything for kidneys in a cat. Again, in a human, and there's transplants in animals, there's really not much you can do. Once the kidneys go into failure, there's very little that you can do. And so that's what we're looking like, guys. We're holding out hope over here. There's definitely mixed feelings. Some are hopeful, some are sad. We'll know kind of in the next few days what the prognosis is, but fingers crossed. I think for sure this little guy's gonna come home and just spend the rest of his days with his family, and however long that is, we'll figure it out. So
also, for those of you who follow us on Instagram, I just wanted to clarify that what I asked for prayers yesterday was not this. I actually have somebody very close to me that is also having some health concerns that I'm very worried about. But I do want to say thank you to all of you who have reached out and offered to pray on our behalf. Sorry, I'm so emotional. It's been sometimes when it rains it pours. And also thank you for sharing with me the things that I can pray for you for, because I'm grateful for that opportunity.
we love you guys. All right, guys, we are here to pick up Blitzen. We have opted to bring him home because the vet was suggesting that might be a better course of action, and administer fluids to him at the house. So he got a steroid shot for his intestinal disease, an antibiotic for his bladder infection, and now we're going in to be trained on how to do subcutaneous injections for fluids for him. And we're supposed to, I think, again, I don't know how often we're supposed to do it, we're about to find out, but for the next week. So he'll be monitored over the next week or so, and then we'll bring him back and have his kidney levels checked, and that'll kind of be telling as to what the future will hold. We are very, very hopeful. Again, the diagnosis is not looking great, but we are holding out hope that this next week and these fluids will actually help improve his circumstances. So here we go.
Towel to help me hold them.
Hi, Blitz.
And I'm gonna have Kaylin help me hold them, and you guys can see kind of how we do this. So, the best place to put the fluids is right here in the neck. They have the most extra skin right there. So that's the subcutaneous area, is right under the skin right here. And when you lift it up, he doesn't have a lot because he's kind of old, but when you lift it up, you can feel kind of, there's just like a pocket of skin.
Just that skin, yeah.
So your goal is you want to get the fluids in that pocket right there.
Okay.
And it's going to be kind of a big bubble of fluid. Right now, I'm gonna give him 200 mils. You guys only have to do 100 mils a day, okay?
Okay. Well, we do it one time.
Yep, once a day. Yep.
And how long does it take to put 100 mils in?
It's pretty fast. 100 isn't too much, so it should be pretty fast. You just have to squeeze the bag, and that helps get it go faster.
Okay.
And it is a little cold, so it gets a little
Do you
uncomfortable
want to stand
sometimes.
up? Is that better? What do you want to do, buddy?
But you just want to make sure the person holding them is as comfortable as they can be, so that
Does the needle might poke?
you don't want to, you don't want to poke the other person with the
I know.
needle. I'm gonna use a thicker needle so it goes a little faster right now.
How much does the needle bother him?
It really doesn't. They're pretty resilient.
Really?
They do really well. Yes, really.
He just doesn't like to hold still, or?
Yeah, he just doesn't
That's
like
the
to
hardest
hold
part, is
still.
that
Okay.
they just have to sit still.
So I'm actually gonna come on that side of the table. I would like, Justin, if you'll hold this for me. So you wanna have one person kind of hold up the bag, another person just kind of hold on to him. And he's a really, really good cat, so he's done great for us today.
Yeah,
So what I'm gonna
he's
do
sweet.
is I'm gonna take my hand like a claw and I'm gonna just lift up the skin. And between these two fingers is kind of like a little tent. You feel that space that I'm gonna poke into the needle into?
Yeah, the little tent right there.
Yep.
Just this tent. Yeah, right there.
between
Yep.
my two fingers,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna use this bigger needle right now so we can get it done a little bit faster. And I just poke fast. But he has really thick skin.
Yeah, see, he didn't even flinch. He did
Yeah,
it.
You did
There you
it.
go.
Good job,
So
Blitzy.
I leave it locked while I'm dealing with it with the needle open. As soon as I put the needle in, then I'll unlock it.
Okay.
And this is right here, this is
This
how you
roll
unlock
up?
it, you roll it up.
Okay.
And so now, if you lift up the bag really high, you can see it's flowing really well.
Where do I measure my 100 or 200 mils?
So this is 1,000.
It's going through.
Oh, dang it. That's fine. It's a 1 liter bag, so it's 1,000 mils.
Sometimes you can go through both layers of
goes
skin
through
and
both
then it
layers
just
and then it goes through.
Nice
So we're good
piece.
now.
Okay.
Perfect. So we're gonna go to, let's see, we're doing 2 right now, so we're gonna go to the 3 right
So
now.
these are hundreds. Okay. And I squeeze or just let it go?
Yeah, you can squeeze.
Yeah, if you squeeze it, it
That
just
helps
goes
it go way
faster.
faster. And it's just a little cold, so he might just get a little bit,
Antsy.
bugged and antsy, but.
So we're gonna go all the way to 3?
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a lot.
It is a lot, and he's
But
gonna
this
have a
should
big
help
weird
flush.
bubble of fluid on him, but it'll help him feel better.
It'll help his flush out those toxins.
Exactly, those kidneys will get better.
How hard do I squeeze?
You can squeeze as hard as you need to.
I'm not gonna like burst it.
You're okay.
Yeah, the bags are pretty thick.
That was pretty fast, just the
That was
one.
pretty quick.
Yeah, that was pretty fast.
You just want to try to keep an eye on this needle, keep a hand on it or something, make sure that it stays in so that you're not just wasting it.
And
So
you'll
find a
feel if
system
it's-
that works for you guys.
And you'll feel it if it's not into because it will leak all over you. So
It's okay. You're doing so
you're
good.
almost done.
You guys, he is never this snuggly. You can tell he's not feeling himself because he doesn't usually like to snuggle like this. Sweet boy. He just got a ton of fluid. It's all kind of sitting right here. He's got a big pocket of fluid. They said it'll distribute throughout today and hopefully flush out those toxins. So Justin and I are gonna have to do that for him at home. They said that the needle doesn't hurt him. It just kind of feels uncomfortable to be like constrained. Cats hate that, but also the fluids are cold, and so anyone who's gotten an IV knows that it just feels funny. He doesn't like the feeling of the cold fluids going in him.
So we're supposed to give 150 milliliters each day for the next week. Actually, maybe the next 10 days. And then we'll come back and have his kidneys tested again to see where he's at. But for now, it's time to take this little guy back home.
He's not squirming at all, he's purring. You guys, Blitzy's home. You come see him. He's so gentle because he's not feeling good. He's wet because that's where the IV went.
So we gave him an IV.
He's bony. He's really bony. I know. We'll come see him.
Is he pretty light?
He's skinny for sure. Say hi to Blitzy.
Alright guys, well, we are gonna wrap up today's video. A little update here for you. Blitzen is doing about the same. He's been kind of just chilling, pretty lethargic. He's actually been asleep on Turin's bed pretty much most of the day. Since we brought him home from the vet, he has really just chilled on that bed, has not moved at all, actually. So I'm gonna keep an eye on him again through the middle of the night. Tomorrow, we again will give him 150 mLs of fluids. I mean, all in all, I think we're hopeful. It's amazing how quickly it turned though, where he just was like totally normal, like yesterday, a couple days ago, and then suddenly it just kind of hit him. So he's really just pretty much just falling asleep wherever he is set down. He just kind of chills. So they did say it would take about 24 hours for the steroid to kick in, antibiotic, and for the fluids to actually take effect. They said it would be about 24 hours. So we'll see how he's feeling in the morning. But anyway, we're hopeful. But guys, thank you so much for joining us in today's video. A little bit more of a serious video today. Obviously, you know, we love our pets and want to take good care of them, and it's never fun to have to go through something like this, but we're very, very hopeful. So if you guys are new to our channel, welcome, and thank you for joining the crew. Thank you for joining the family of Our Life in Holland. As always, turn on those notification bells because we're posting every single day. You're not gonna want to miss these videos coming up here in October, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Good night, everybody.